Hey y'all, it's Jude. So today is my first video, and I guess a couple friends of mine said that I don't know, I should start a channel. So hi, I'm Jude. Uh, Today is September 11th, and that is a significant date in my country. I'm from the United States. I currently live down in Florida. But I've moved 43 times in my life, so I'm pretty much from everywhere, mostly the South, which you can hear in my accent, I'm sure. Today is 9/11, which, in case you don't know, is the anniversary of the terrorist attack that occurred where planes were flown into the Twin Towers in New York City. I actually, when this happened, I had relatives that lived up near DC, and they had students and friends and colleagues that took the train from DC to New York every day for work, to work at the trade centers. And so I actually knew quite a few people that were directly affected by this attack. And as it so happens, happy birthday to my cousin. He was born on September 11th, 2001. When he was younger, he really hammed it up. He really enjoyed that, but that's neither here nor there. He's 17, so happy birthday to Daniel. And I guess what I really want to talk about today is, I don't want to say that we shouldn't honor those who fell or lost their lives or were injured or affected or lost family members and friends during 9/11, because of course we should, obviously. It was definitely something that we as a nation should remember and honor those who fell, and especially the first responders that responded and lost their lives in responding to that tragedy. My sister is an EMT, and I know she would have been right there in the thick. She is 18 now, so she was actually an infant when it happened, but I have mad respect for all of the first responders that showed up that day to help out and to save so many lives. But I don't want to forget. I feel like mainstream media there's this joke in My Big Fat Greek Wedding where it says, the man is the head of the house, but the wife is the neck, and she turns the man's head wherever she wants it to look. And I feel like we get that way with mainstream media a bit. We tend to focus on exactly what they tell us to focus on. And I feel that there are people in power who supply these stories, and they kind of use that focus to go, oh, well, look, a distraction. Look over there. Don't look over here. And for me, there are so many things. Yes, this is a monumentous anniversary that we should definitely honor those who fell. But I feel like we forget about things where it's not so much portrayed, because it's not what they want us to see. And there's so many things. There's Black Wall Street, there's the Tuskegee Experiment, there is Puerto Rico right now, where people still don't have power, still don't have electricity, and the death toll is rising by the thousands. And meanwhile, we don't really talk about that. We don't really discuss it anymore because it's old news. Well, I mean, more people at this point have died in Puerto Rico because of the hurricanes last year, and gotten so much, just not enough aid, that they don't have what they need. And for our president specifically to go, oh, well, we did a great job. Well, no, the job is not over. It's not did. It is, we should be doing. There's, the people in Flint that still, as Miss America contestant said, they have 84% of the fresh water in the United States, and they still don't have clean water to drink. I mean, that's a travesty. For all of the people who are coming here just to make a better life for their kids, and now those kids are literally in cages resembling what you would see dogs in cages at a pound. And many of them will never see their parents again. I mean, and you can say all this stuff like, oh, we're gonna reunite them, but it's not realistic. I mean, when you have a judge who is required to ask an infant who can't walk or talk, I mean, he hasn't even taken his first steps yet, and this judge has to ask him if he understands his court proceedings. I mean, you can't ask, well, what's your mommy's name? What's your dad's name? Where do you come from? Where do you live? Who do you know? He can't speak. There's a very, very slim chance that child will ever see his parents again. And I feel like with mainstream media, we've been trained to be outraged at whatever is on the television or on the radio, whereas these things that are just inhumane, that no human being should ever have to go through. When we see children literally in cages sleeping on 1-inch mats, but we forget about it. We don't think about it because it's not in our face. We've been so desensitized to these horrible, inhumane tragedies that we literally just stop thinking about them. I'm so sorry, that's my cats. Yes, we should 100% share, remember, honor all of the heroes that fell in 9/11 and have fallen since because of the war that became out of that event. We have been at war for almost 20 years. Thousands of heroes have fallen. Millions have been affected, men, women, children, all over the world by this one event that they had a tip about. They could have prevented, but we used that as a catalyst to go to war. And there's so many things that we could be doing to help other people. And in a country where for some reason, even people in my own family think that anti-fascists are these horrible demons. I'm sorry, but I don't understand how opposing fascism is now a bad thing. Personally, I will oppose fascism. So, I don't understand why people don't think that that's a good thing, but, when you're a social justice warrior and it's, oh, you're a social justice warrior, that's horrible. Of course I am. I'm a trans man. I am the LGBT community. So yes, I fight for social justice. Even if I was not, I still would. I missed the part where social justice and justice for all is a bad thing. Don't really understand that either. But I know that as the country that we are, we have this ability to help those in need. We have the ability to help Puerto Rico. We have the ability to gather together and join forces to end the travesties that are happening with immigration right now. We have the power to adjust our policies, to vote out the incumbents, to choose the next representatives that will make better changes in the world, to listen to the platforms and to use our judgment to pick people that will do better things. So I guess what I'm saying is stand up. And not just for the things that we're told to focus on, not just for the things that we're told to think about. If you're walking down the street and you see someone doing something that you know is not right, stand up. Say something. If you have the privilege that you have the ability to say something and stand up in that situation and the other person does not, stand up for them. If you have the ability to help someone, help them. Don't let the world desensitize you to what's going on in your own backyard in light of something that is significant historically. It is very important to remember history, as noted right now in this country. I feel like I personally believe that we are scarily following the path of pre-World War II Germany, just because I have studied it quite a bit and it is my family history. My grandfather is an immigrant. He was a refugee in 1938 that came here from Nazi Germany. But do something today that will make the world a better place. Remember the people who need us. Remember the people in Puerto Rico. Remember the children who are separated from their families. Remember the people who have done nothing and are being held in prison. I had a relative recently who was arrested who didn't have the money to get bailed out, and that relative could have spent, honestly, literally years just awaiting trials and being in jail just for being accused. It's not innocent until proven guilty anymore, and we have to stand up for the people who cannot stand up for themselves. Remember the people who need us. Remember the things that have happened, whether or not they are popular to remember. Do what you can to make changes for the better. Fight for the people who can't fight for themselves. Remember 9/11. But remember everything else too.